This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. It has been 363 days since I last did this format of a video. And here we are, August 17th, 2019, with a lot of lessons learned, a lot of changes made, a lot of things have happened. And now we start the groove all over again. What I'm talking about is way long ago, before November 2018 happened, and I switched away from games, full Oilers all the time, every day, as often as I possibly could. Well, I did a video, and you're welcome to go find it on the channel. It's back to the reasons why the NHL should fear the Edmonton Oilers in the 2018-2019 season. That was my title. That's the video. It was a beauty. It was one of the big reasons why when I made the switch in November, I thought, you know what? If I find that kind of success like I had in August, I can do no problem with a kind of video like that the rest of my time on YouTube. And that's exactly what we found. Fostering a community of Oilers fans around our team every single discussion really does some impactful things for creating a community. Well, okay, that aside, we don't need to sit here and discuss the impacts of the Oilers community on YouTube and stuff. What we need to get to discussing is disregarding absolutely everything I said in 2018-2019's preview of reasons why the NHL should fear the Edmonton Oilers and get to this year's version, because time is a circle, I guess, essentially. Because honestly, what I'm going to argue right off the bat is as simple as what I argued last year, is we had a terrible year, right? Absolutely crap, miserable, poor, terrible year. Just like we did in 17-18. 17-18 was a big disappointment. 18-19 was a big disappointment. So, where does that leave us? Well, we've done a lot more this offseason. There's been a lot of all-around headlines generated. Things have happened. I don't know how to put it. Things are different, okay? Compared to the 17-18 to 18-19 team, the 18-19 to 19-20 team, it's apples to oranges almost. Seriously. It seriously feels opening night to opening night, opening night to opening night, seems like apples to oranges, and that is the one thing I'm looking forward to. If you're the NHL and you're out here, you're looking at the Oilers, and you're like, why are they scary? Like, how could they be scary, I guess, is how a lot of you should probably want me to frame it. Not necessarily why are we scary, but how should they be scary? And the simple reason is we are a different team. And that means nothing. That carries dead, empty weight, realistically. My words are pretty hollow there. But you get what I'm saying, is the fact we're a different team. And I don't care if you're saying we're the same crappy team with different players. Still different. And I mean, that is to my level of going back to last year's video and watching the first 2 minutes and 57 seconds, is just, there's nothing different to say to open up this video than there was really last year, other than the fact that we're a different team and that the goal remains the same, right? This goal, we got to get better than last year. Now it's not better than last year, it's better than the last 2 years. But that's exactly why we move into number 2, my second reason why the NHL should fear the Edmonton Oilers, guys. We've talked about the disappointment, we're a different team, that kind of deal. The playoffs are a huge, huge, huge goal for this Edmonton Oilers team this year. I'm not saying it's like what's going to happen or it's the target, or no, what I'm saying is a huge goal. It's a big victory if we get there. A, to prove the doubters wrong. B, because no team with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl shouldn't be a non-playoff team, right? Every team should be a playoff team if you've got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on there. And that's to point number 3 on this playoff mantra kind of thing I'm getting on as to why teams should fear the Oilers coming out there and absolutely stomping them in every single game, is the simple fact that you're missing the key word when you're talking about playoffs. What gets you where you want to go in the playoffs? It's motivation. And that's the one thing I think this whole season hangs on. And that's what I complained about a lot to the end of last year, was the heart and hustle, right? The motivation to go out there and want to win. Well, guys, we've got a lot of players on a lot of one-year deals, a lot of show and prove stuff set up this year. Well, guess what? That means one thing: motivation. And when you've got a motivated hockey team, I've seen it a million times in Junior B hockey. You can go back and rewatch live on Dolynny TV games 1 through 7 of the first round NEA JBHL 2018 playoff series, or 2018. Jeez, that was a long time ago. Between the Cold Lake Ice and St. Paul Junior B Canadians, and you can tell me which team looked motivated out there, and you can kind of see it, right? Obviously, it takes luck and determination, but the Cold Lake Ice, the underdog, were motivated to go out there and show and prove they had a chance at the second round, and they got it done. St. Paul, very motivated all season long, got some health issues in the playoffs, and well, that's what the playoffs are all about, is whichever team's motivated enough and whichever team can capitalize. That's a different topic. We won't get into that, but I invite you to go watch games 1 through 7 because it's a treat. Yours truly calling the game, broadcasting live from the Clancy Richard Arena in Imperial Place in Cold Lake, Alberta. So guys, with that, we move on to point number 3. And this one, I mean, I probably argued this last year. I'm not going to go sit back there and watch my video from last year because, guys, I have a hard time watching myself. I don't know how you do it. Props to you. Either way, McDavid and Draisaitl are now a year older from last year when I said whatever I said about them. That's the beauty here. They're a year older and a lot of success behind them, right? You think Draisaitl, his 50-goal season, watching it live in Calgary, baby, it was beautiful. Well, there you go. That's one. Now he's got a year older and he's got that under his belt. Connor McDavid, career high in points, guys. Scoring goes up a little bit more in the NHL. There's no reason Connor McDavid can't outdo last year and get all those games in. You've got me talking fantasy here about how beautiful this could be, and that is a scary thing. I mean, we saw at times Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, you get them out on the ice, guys, teams don't stand a chance. If they want to score, especially last year, now going into this year, they're going to score. And that alone, that's a reason to fear the Oilers, because these guys are Oilers. And guess what? When you're fearing the Oilers, big part of that is the duo of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And they repeat their performances, and they want to repeat their performances. Rest in peace to whatever goalie has an off night, because they will fill the net to the moon. It's going to be an awesome year, barring injury, barring suspension, barring anything crazy like a flu. So there you go. That's simple as that, guys. That's another reason to fear the Oilers. Now, on the back end, this is one that I think really gets us excited as Oilers fans, because this homegrown talent, this is something we've done right in the system, and it's starting to pay off dividends, right? Darnell Nurse has gotten in his games as a defenseman. He's grown his game. The last thing he has to do is polish off the two-way defensive, offensive defenseman game, and we'll have an absolute mammoth of a man. Well, guess what? The benefit there is the offensive game got polished off last year. You give him big minutes this year, playing big roles on either the power play or however you want to set it up, especially considering now everyone's kind of, you guys especially, I think, taking off after something Bob Stauffer said on the radio the other week of how good of friends the big trio, if you want to talk trio, not just duo, of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Darnell Nurse are. Guys, that sounds like a lot of power play goals to me. And if you think Darnell Nurse gets hot with his shot, don't kid yourself that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl won't be feeding him at the point to bomb him past whatever sorry goalie's trying to make a save in net. So simple as that. Darnell Nurse, offensive emergence last year. Guys, he is ready to rip this year. Yeah, I'll take 60 points on the back end from an Oilers defenseman. Don't think for a second I wouldn't. So that's another fear of the Edmonton Oilers. Darnell Nurse doing some damage. And now we get into my last three. And guys, this one's going to run a little bit longer. Buckle up, get your seatbelts on, get some popcorn, and enjoy the ride. Mikko Koskinen. Guys, this is one a lot of people aren't going to bite into as juicily as maybe some of the other ones as a reason to fear the Oilers. But Mikko Koskinen, coming into last year, didn't have any NHL experience that he could draw on in the past 5 years. Plain facts. Go check out his career stats on Elite Prospects, Hockey DB, Hockey Reference, whatever you have it. Now, he's had, after a full year in the NHL, an offseason to train as an NHL goaltender. And right alone, guys, we saw tremendous promise out of Mikko Koskinen. And I think the Oilers saw way more than most of us, giving him that big contract, 3 years, 4.5 per. But you get where I'm going with it, is the simple fact of he's had that offseason to train. The promise is there. Guys, if he figured it out, that's the key. If he figured it out with the real game and experience he gained last year and potentially a very good net minding partner who's motivated to go out there and get wins when Koskinen's not in the net, unlike first shot, first goal Talbot. Guys, a hot backstopper in net for the Oilers is a scary thing. I think, honestly, the NHL wouldn't be as scared of it as Oilers fans would be. That's the thing. We'd be hanging on the seat of our pants if we had a hot goalie. That's the way. We live and die by hot goalies most of the time. Not necessarily saying game-wise, but as fans, guys, we love the goalie discussion here in Edmonton. And, man, you imagine, we have a hot goalie. We have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Darnell Nurse filling the net. If you're the NHL, watch out. That's definitely a reason to fear the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the last two. Guys, do I need to mention these two? I don't think they're going to get enough credit until we see the games played. And that's the beauty of their job when you're an off-ice player, or piece, I guess is the key term here, for the Edmonton Oilers. Dave Tippett. The reason you got to fear the Edmonton Oilers is because Dave Tippett historically knows how to coach a defense. And yes, okay, the Oilers have had some guys coaching that can coach defense to an extent, but Dave Tippett, guys, everybody's big fear is, oh my God, he knows how to coach defense. And that is a good thing. If you're drawing the headlines, immediately, Dave Tippett wants to coach the defense to be steady and the offense to be explosive. Guys, I don't think we've been preached anything else more to our liking as Oilers fans. And honestly, that's the key. If the Oilers figure out the defensive situation and the goaltending situation to play off of each other, good night, let's go playoffs, right? That's exactly where I'd be going. But we've got to play the games, and that's why right now I consider them as lesser reasons. That's why I mentioned them at the end here. And now, guys, are you ready for the finale of my reasons to fear the Edmonton Oilers? If we get to a situation at the deadline in which we are contending for a division title, a second or third place, not a wild card. Don't mind you, I don't want to be making crazy upgrades if we're in a wild card conversation. But if we're in one of those top 3 seeds in the Pacific Division, let me tell you, instead of Peter Chiarelli, we've got Mr. Ken Holland in the GM chair. How does that sound? Do you know this guy traded Milan Lucic? Yeah. Sound better yet? Yeah. Well, guess what? We've got a GM who can make a capable, sensible, Oilers win type deal at the deadline, or when this team needs a deal to be made. So right there, for once, going into an NHL season, a reason to fear the NHL's Edmonton Oilers is because of who sits in the general manager's chair. Guys, those are my reasons. I've probably missed 3, 4, 5. List your reason in the comments below. How about that? Instead of telling me what I missed, list your reasons. Let's try and be positive here. Let's not get too beat up on why we shouldn't fear the Oilers. Let's list the actual reasons you feel out there in the hockeyverse why the NHL should fear the Edmonton Oilers. Guys, Tyson, Dolynny TV, I will catch ya in the next one.